Behind me are the Muscadine trellises we just built. In this video, I am going to give you the dimensions so you can build your own. I posted a video last week showing the perfect build of this Muscadine grape trellis system right here. But I wanted to explain how it works. So this is a single wire system, which is really easy to train grapes on. Now you've probably seen systems of overhead grapevines and vines planted really close together, and then Captain Jean-Luc Picard tending grapes, etc. Muscadine grapes are extremely vigorous. They run very far, and the single wire system is the best system that I am aware of at this point for raising them. I've tried putting them on multiple wires. I tried growing them on chain link fence. I've tried growing them up posts and other things, but this, for ease of maintenance and ease to work around and ease of installation, is really a very good system. And it's worth putting in a decent system at the beginning, knowing that they are very vigorous grapes. So I'm going to run down how this works. The recommendation from the University of Florida is 20 feet between vines. However, Ison's Nursery recommends 16 feet between vines. Now this seems like a really long space, right? So when I first planted muscadines some years ago, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna plant them about 6 to 8 feet apart, because I mean, it seems like you put this little teeny grapevine in the ground that you've got all the space in the world. I ended up with the worst mess that was very unproductive and just really a pain to take care of. I should have just gone through and taken out every other one. But instead I moved and gave up and started again somewhere else. So because the University of Florida recommended 20 and Ison's recommended 16, I took the happy medium and I put them at 18 feet apart. And you don't have to be super neurotic about this. If you can pace off a yard, you can just pace off a yard. It doesn't matter if you're off by a foot or two, really. Just as neurotic as you want to be. So from here to here is 18 feet. The posts are 18 feet apart all the way down, and the wire is at 5 feet. I have seen some grape vines that were grown at about 4 feet, and they often are dragging on the ground. It's hard to clean up underneath them, mow underneath them. It's harder to work with. It's nice to have them up here, but I wouldn't go much higher than this, because then you're trying to do this when you prune. And the 5 is just a nice, happy, human-sized medium. If you're a little shorter or you're a little taller, you can still work with this system. You put really strong posts in at the end, and then I just put the posts directly in the ground. These are in the middle. These are 8-foot posts that are almost 3 feet in the ground, and then we just drilled holes through them to prop up this wire. Let's go take a look at the end post and I can see how things were connected. So we pre-drilled a hole and we put in this lag eye bolt. It's got about that much threads that are going into here. If you wanted to be really amazing about it, you could put a bolt all the way through and put a nut on the back, but we've found that these screw-in eyes are just fine. So this is the side that we attach our wire to, and then we run the wire down through the holes on each of these to the other end where we have a ratchet. This is a ratchet that you can get at Ace or Tractor Supply. This thing here, you can continue to crank up, and it cranks and tightens up your wire. And this just has this style hook. There's probably some more elegant way to put this in, but this just has a hook side instead of the eye. It's got an open hook. And because this didn't exactly fit this gauge, we just made a wire loop here. And this is 10 gauge wire. 9 gauge might have been even better, but you don't want to go light with the wire because muscadines really are going to pull on it, and you got to put on some strong wire. Fortunately, it's not that expensive to get it. We got a hoop of it for like 25 bucks, and it did both of our lines, so that's not bad. Now the post itself, it's a pretty hefty post. This one is really nicely sunk into the ground with a great big hole. And I dumped an entire 80-pound bag of concrete down into all 4 of the end posts. The ones in between don't have concrete. The ones in the end do have concrete. They are extremely solid now. They're not going anywhere. So that is important. You can also put brace in, or a dead man brace, or whatever, however you want to do it. I've seen brace systems. I just like to dump a bag of concrete in and not worry about doing any more carpentry. Each one of these vines is equidistant between two poles. That means it's in the middle, directly in the middle. And when you get your little vines and you put them in the ground, you often are going to get them bare root, or they're going to be small, they're going to be in pots. You're going to have to direct them up to the line somehow. Sometimes you might have some that are long enough that you could maybe tie them up at the top, but these weren't, so you can either run a string down or just go get some bamboo and use bamboo or whatever you have available to just direct them up. Once they get up here and they start grabbing on, you're going to cut them near the top, train them both ways, look for two branches that are going to go one way and the other. Once that actually happens and they really get their tendrils on here, they're going to harden up, they're going to be strong, and you don't need these posts anymore. These posts are just temporary to direct them up until they get to where they need to be. Regular vine grapes don't do very well in Florida and in the deep south because they are subject to a disease called Pierce's disease, which causes their vascular systems to fail over a few years. So you may see champagne grapes and various Thompson's seedless and things like that for sale in nurseries, often nurseries that are shipping in stuff from out of state. Don't fall for it. It's probably going to break your heart. But muscadines are native to this area. They grow extremely well, and there are a lot of really good improved varieties that are extremely vigorous, disease-free, super easy to grow, low maintenance, and are going to give you grapes for years and years and years to come. It takes about 2 to 3 years for them to really start to come into production, and then you're going to get gallons and gallons of grapes every year after that. So the infrastructure you put in now is going to be blessing your family for a long time to come. Thanks for joining me. I just wanted to kind of give you a really quick overview of why this system, how this system works, and the spacing of this system. You can totally do this at home. If you've got any more questions about muscadine grapes, leave them in the comments below. And until next time, may your thumbs always be green.
Go ahead.
All right. If you have any more questions about muscadines, I'm not an expert. I'm a backyard gardener. I'm not an expert on muscadines. I'm an expert on some other things. All right, let's start that over. If you have any more questions about muscadines, leave them in the comments below. I'll try to answer all of you with all the respect that you deserve.
Go ahead.
Thanks for joining me. Catch y'all next time. I've got a ton more videos. Be sure to like and hit the bell and try to figure out why YouTube is suppressing all of my videos on giants.